YouTube, I have new merch. Click the link in the description. You can get t-shirts and sweatshirts, and there are 3 different designs. I don't know what else to say. So, I'm gonna feed the owls again here. I have, if you weren't here the first time I fed them, I feed them every 3 hours. I believe that they're great horned owl babies. There's a chance that they're barred owls, but I don't think so. I think that they're great horned owls. They're less than 10 days old because their eyes aren't open yet. And I'm not going to talk while I'm feeding them because birds can imprint on human voices as well as imprinting on people. The only reason that I'm feeding them like in the open like this, not covered, and them not being in a box is because their eyes aren't open yet. So once their eyes open, they'll be fed in a box with tongs with a puppet. And then hopefully on Tuesday, I'll be able to pair them up with a surrogate. So yeah, I don't feed them every 3 hours overnight. No. Overnight they sleep and they're hungry in the morning. They eat the most in the morning. So at this point in the day, they're not nearly as hungry, so they might not eat very much, but I'm still going to offer them as much food as they want. So yeah, I'll bring them in here, show you. Their names are Marsh and Mallow. Chat decided that last time we fed them, so excuse the fact that I'm not talking here. I'm gonna go grab them. Also, that cord that I tried to show you, it's a heating pad, if you guys care. All right. Just put the rest of this in the fridge. See, they didn't eat very much. They just eat less throughout the day. All right. Any questions on the owls? I want to work closely with animals. Where should I start? Yeah, degrees in biology help tremendously, but other than that, just volunteering in as many places as you can. Best type of parrot for a pet. I don't recommend parrots as pets to pretty much anybody, to be honest with you. I think it is a beyond lifelong commitment to own a parrot, and they're like toddlers, except way more destructive and way louder. If you're a first-time bird owner, I would recommend cockatiels. I would recommend conures, but conures, you're going into the loud zone for sure. They're very, very loud. So that's kind of annoying. The owls are great horned owls, I think. Beyond lifelong commitment. I mean, likely you're not going to get a parrot until you're at least in your 20s. They live 60 to 70 years. So, people have to put them in their will. And a lot of people don't want parrots for that long, People get them older than that too, and they live that long. So, yeah. If you want a bird, lovebirds are good. Cockatiels are good. Conures are loud. Parakeets are good. I realize they're not as social and they don't talk. It's not as common for them to talk. They can talk. But I need a parrot by tomorrow. I'm not sure why do you need a parrot by tomorrow? I'm going to be honest, I love parrots. I've worked at a parrot sanctuary. I've worked around parrots at multiple zoos in my life. I think they're fantastic ambassadors, and I think they're really cool animals to work with as a trainer. I would never, ever want one in my home as a pet. Never. Cockatiels I could have in my home. I would never want a cockatoo or a macaw or a conure or an African gray in my home. Why? Because they're insanely loud. Moluccan cockatoos are the 4th loudest animal on the planet. They're insanely destructive. Macaw bites are no joke. Those beaks are made to crack open nuts. They break through wood. So not just biting you, they can chew through wood. They can chew through lots of metals too. And getting bit by a macaw sucks. And they do communicate a lot with their mouths. A lot of birds have biting issues, and those are really hard to train out of. So there's that. If they get any sort of separation anxiety, they will just scream. Not like a dog whining or barking, like screaming. It's unbearable to have in your home. I don't recommend mid to large size parrots to anybody. I really don't. Even if you're like a bird person, even myself, I wouldn't want one in the house. I really don't. There's an outbreak in my area. Yeah, spaying and neutering cats is a big first step. People trap cats and spay and neuter to kind of slow down that cycle. Telling people about having outdoor cats being an issue. Definitely feeding your outdoor cats so that they're not just hunting for a living. Yeah, that's why there's so many birds in sanctuaries, Flux, for sure. Mini pigs are great. People don't understand for whatever reason that mini pigs don't stay football sized. So lots of people get teacup pigs thinking they're going to stay this big. They don't stay that big. They grow into pigs. Pigs even. Potbelly pigs are pretty large. They're very clean animals. Their manure does smell really bad, but they're pretty clean. Sugar gliders, I don't think that they belong in the pet trade. To be honest, they're really cute, but if you want my actual opinion on like if you're considering getting a sugar glider, because I think they are legal in some states, which I disagree with, but just so you know, I do think that they're pretty overrated as pets. They sleep, they just sleep all day, and they're not very social, and they bite, and they're just very, very anxious. I think my experience with sugar gliders, I would kind of compare them to squirrels, but a little bit, not as fast as a squirrel. But like a squirrel, they just don't really want anything to do with people. I think bird feeders are great. Bird feeders are fine, as long as you're putting the right food in them. What about feeding squirrels? Squirrels may eat from your bird feeders. Do not feed squirrels by hand. Don't try to go up to a squirrel and feed it a nut. 1, you might get bit. 2, it's just encouraging them to think that people are safe. So they'll spend a lot more time in suburban and urban areas, and they're way more likely to get hit by cars or to get in trouble with like other human conflict. So Don't do that. Salmonella outbreak and bird feeders. Yeah, people never clean their bird feeders. That is important. Bird feeders and insect houses are things that do need to be cleaned. I asked this question to a birder at one point. Maybe I should ask a couple other people how they feel about bird feeders, but can I have a bird army? Depends what your definition is, I guess, but probably not. I feel really sick.
Nintendo was shot by skeletons.